In this segment of an introduction to NatureServe's conservation status assessments, we will discuss process. Before we jump into the process, it's important to look at the structure and components. The rank calculator facilitates the application of data to the factors and justification of those factors. Biotics has a built-in rank calculator where factors can be stored along with justification and supporting information. And NatureServe Explorer is the public-facing portal for NatureServe's global assessments and subnational ranks. The process of assessing a species or ecosystem follows this generalized sequence that is consistent across most efforts. Sometimes overlooked or underappreciated is the selection step. The target being selected can be a species, variety, subspecies, a population for animals in some cases, or an ecosystem type. After the target is understood, the assessment can proceed with research and data collection, application of data to rank factors and the associated justification, reviews, and publication of assessments. Understanding the target defines the taxonomy and geography, which set the stage for all steps that follow. Understanding the taxonomic concept of your target is critical. What if your target was Euphorbia porteriana? Two new species were recently split from it, Euphorbia hammeri and Euphorbia ogdenii. Sometimes there's disagreement on such splits. So would you be assessing Euphorbia porteriana in the broad sense, before it was divided into 3 species, or in the narrow sense? This decision determines the geographic scope of the assessment. The combination of taxonomy and geography set the boundaries for your assessment. The process is similar for selecting an ecosystem type. NatureServe Explorer and Biotics provide taxonomic and geographic information. You will see that there are 2 taxonomic references. The concept reference shows the origin of the record in our database associated with the name used in the concept reference. The scientific name reference is typically a modern treatment with the same taxonomic concept, which also indicates that we have reviewed the taxonomy against that newer source. Taxonomic comments provide context, especially when there is a recent conflicting taxonomic treatment. If we go to a scientific name reference, it often provides a guide to the geographic range, as shown here in this screenshot of a page from the Flora of North America. Sometimes excluded are new discoveries or corrections to the species range. NatureServe Explorer also provides a text documentation of the global range and the range extent comments, and a map of the species distribution in the United States and Canada with subnational ranks reflected. While only the US and Canada are shown on the map, NatureServe's global assessment considers the species' entire geographic range. So what is the assessment process? The assessor compiles data reflecting the target concept and interprets them according to the methods to assess factors of rarity, threats, and trends. These applications of the data are reviewed and revised as needed to best estimate the extinction risk of a species. The assessment is recorded, possibly with additional review and revisions, and finally published online in various outlets. Let's look at each of these steps briefly. The first step is researching and gathering data. This can involve contacting experts, reviewing the literature, It could involve spatial data and attributes of data maintained by the NatureServe network. Other spatial data may be gathered from various databases like specimen portals, and which may need to be vetted, and various maps may also be referenced. The types of data we seek are used to inform the rank factors, but also to fill out supporting information that provide context, inform needs, and conservation actions. Our methods help us to interpret available data according to the rank factors. There are 6 rarity factors, 2 threat factors, and 2 trend factors. The goal is to find data to support as many of these factors as possible. NatureServe's assessment uses a weight of evidence approach, so all factors scored inform the rank. However, there are 2 exceptions for intrinsic vulnerability and environmental specificity, where related factors under the same threat group are scored in their place. If they happen to be left unscored or scored as unknown, then these alternative factors are considered in the overall rank. While there's no limit on how many factors can be scored, there are rules about the minimum number of factors considered, which can be as few as 2. For example, 1 rarity factor and 1 threat or trend factor could produce a rank, or 1 rarity factor from each of the categories below could be used to support a rank. But ideally, we would like to score more than 2 factors. As we apply data to rank factors, we fill out the factors in the rank calculator or Biotics. The rank calculator supports the assessment data requirements. For any given factor, there are ranges of options to summarize the data. So we're not entering an exact number. Instead, we're looking for how our data fall within thresholds that are provided for each one of the factors. As factors are scored, a rank is calculated once minimum factor requirements are met. And this holds true in Biotics and the Excel rank calculator. Behind the scenes, the rank calculator uses carefully considered factor weights and algorithms to designate a conservation status rank. Factor scores are weighted by impact on extinction risk. Notice that within rarity, some factors are more heavily weighted, like area of occupancy or number of occurrences with good viability. A detailed explanation of the weighting and scoring and algorithms are found in the methodology for assigning ranks document. As we apply data to factors, we record and justify the assessment along the way. Details for each factor considered can be entered into the rank calculator in Excel or Biotics. It's important to remember the goals of the assessment through the documentation steps. We're justifying the current global rank, documenting factor scores, and describing their supporting data, and including a discussion of any difficulties or challenges in the assessment of factors. We're relaying important information for the prioritization and management of species and ecosystems of conservation concern. And we're educating a wide-ranging audience. After all data and supporting information are incorporated into Biotics and a rank is assigned, the assessment undergoes reviews. NatureServe does not require an independent review for global assessments, but we do require an internal review. And while we don't require independent review, it often happens for species at risk. And our requirement for consistency of global and subnational ranks provides a passive independent review of species the species conservation status. The final step in the process is publishing the assessment. For NatureServe, we publish our global data to NatureServe Explore. This happens near the beginning of each month. And just a few final thoughts on publishing, and before we wrap up the process discussion. We wanted to mention how data are updated and when species are reassessed. The goal was to review species and ecosystems every 10 years. Data on global taxonomy, supporting information like habitat or distribution, is updated independently of a conservation assessment. Subnational ranks are updated independently of global ranks, aside from state endemics, which are largely coordinated. So while we're shooting to review species on this 10-year cycle, there's various aspects of the species information that are updated independently and ongoing, and also updated to Explore on a monthly basis. So as a reminder, first we identify the scope of the assessment, then we research and gather data. In the rank calculator or Biotics, we use the information gathered to score a variety of factors and then document the information in the Biotics database. After the calculated rank and factor scores are reviewed, the information is published on websites like NatureServe Explore or other state websites. Thank you.